and go, sorry, that was me. In which case we're like, damn it, you know. But majority of our evidence also on EVPs. With EVPs, you've got different classes. There's basically Class A, Class B, Class C is what some teams have classified. The lowest level, Class C. Class C is basically something sounds like something on here that you can't quite make out. It may be saying something, it may be whispering something, it may be something, but it's just kind of an anomaly that you can't explain. It's no one in the room, you don't have a radio, you can't explain what that is. Class B gets a little bit better. Usually you can make that out. Usually you put on like a set of headphones or something like that, you crank it up, or you'll crank up the speakers on your computer, and you'll get something that sounds like words. You may not necessarily be able to fully make it out, but in some cases it's just, you know, you can hear something and it definitely sounds like something. And the voice is different than anybody that's in the room. Class A is what they consider the best class ones. Class A is like me talking to you. I turn around and say, can you do this? No. Right out, no. I can play it back for you. You can hear it on a phone, on anything, on this digital recorder, all the rest. Those are rare. You actually don't see a lot of people getting those. We've gotten, in the time that we've done stuff, we've probably got maybe 3. We have one that we got at Penhurst, one that we got at Iron Island, and there's one more that we had floating around that was actually pretty good. I think it was also Penhurst. There were 2 at Penhurst overall. With that, you know, it gets strange. Most of them do fall in the B and C range. You get some weird anomaly, can't make it out, or you have to somehow enhance it or listen to it and try to figure out what it's saying, in which case all I can do for you as a client is say, we can hear this, but what do you think it's saying? Because we can't figure it out. Class A's are cool if you get them. I'll be honest with you, that's the one few things that most paranormal groups will say. It's great to see it on TV, it's great to see this, it's great to say, hey, you know what? It's one thing when you're like, in my case, Iron Island was one of the big ones. I said, do you like music? In which case it says, I'll be around here. You're like, huh, odd. When you hear your voice and something answer, okay, that's really odd. Because I know I didn't hear it, and I know no one else heard it. So those sorts of things kind of give you the idea of what, you know, what some of the gear that we're using. And then this goes all the way up. You can literally get expensive into thermal cameras and digital this. I usually say to most people, especially if you're starting out or you're interested in this sort of thing, and you jump into this, jump in with the fact, don't spend a lot of money in the beginning. Only because, first of all, you'll get to see the real stuff, which is there's a lot of stuff you don't see on TV. There's a lot of sitting around. There's a lot of talking in places that you get nothing. And there's a lot of review. And when I say review, I'm going to tell you when we first did this, we went out to a place, we were all hardcore. We bought video surveillance systems. We had like $5,000 worth of equipment plastered all over this one haunted house, supposed haunted house. Got 36 hours. We were allowed to spend 36 hours in this place, spend the night and all the rest. We had 36 hours, 12 cameras running, and guess what? That's 432 hours worth of footage that someone has to watch. Wow. Think about that, ouch. 432 hours. That was the first time we said, okay, I think we went a little overboard here. In that, we actually did catch one thing on video that was a little strange and no one can explain, but different team members had their own opinions of it. So, you know, my opinion, I'm the biggest skeptic of the thing. I'm probably one of the leadership of the crew. I'm one of the co-founders of our group. And I have a tendency to be like, I don't know, I think I can explain it. I think it looks like it might be some sort of bug or something that's going across the screen. But there's people that when you see, the sad part about also putting video on the internet is that you lose quality. If you see the quality off the DVR itself, off the actual one on a big screen, some people say they can make out something that looks like it's moving towards an object, in which case I say, I don't know, I think it could be a web moving across there and it could have been a spider. You know, so you do this and when you get into that, you still can't, even 100% you have people that say haunted, not haunted, this. I don't know, I kind of have to say that you can say there's a lot of odd stuff that goes on. It's very hard to say something's haunted, and I always say to my team, the day I sit here and this thing can go across there and chairs are flying, and then I can bring somebody else in and go, watch this, and it's flying, then I might say it's haunted. you know, if you think about it in terms of your house, you know, if you're in a house of this size and there's a lot of upstairs and downstairs, there's a lot of movement upstairs and downstairs, it's only natural that probably a lot of occurrences would happen here. You know, a lot of people are going upstairs, downstairs is an active area. In our case, what we had is my teammate, for one, was actually sitting here during a break, which, you know, people will tell you in the paranormal world, it's always funny. You're always on a break, and that's when stuff happens, because you're not ready for it. You know? So, in which case, she was sitting here, chilling out, kind of relaxing. We were in a break period, and she's sitting here, and suddenly she heard something upstairs. And it literally sounded like footsteps running, like moving at a fast pace, across the room, down here, down behind her, then stopped. She felt a cold breeze blow by her, and just sat here like, okay, what was that? No explanation for it. And unfortunately, same thing. No video stuff, no this running, nothing caught it. You know, basically caught nothing except for her personal experience. However, other people have had footsteps through here. Other people have felt that sort of thing. One of the big stories that goes around this piece here, or this stairwell, and I don't know exactly what level this was supposedly at, but the biggest story that goes on here at Bolton Mansion is that, and there's a lot of hearsay. A lot of this was not able to be verified because the history books aren't going to write every little thing about every day of every family. But supposedly the family was here. A member of the family was in the military, went off to war. He had a sweetheart that was here. She could have been either a servant or she was a member of the family. Him going off to war apparently wasn't popular with the family. They weren't happy about it. He eventually went off, came back from war. His whole goal was to come back, marry the girl, move off into the sunset, and live on his own. The family got into a squabble. Didn't work out that way. They basically told him that it wasn't going to happen. And distraught as he was, he hung himself in the stairwell. She looked for him, wound up waking up, looking for him, trying to find out what was going on. Saw that he was hanging, and killed herself. Now some of the variations are the opposite. She was distraught, hung herself, and he killed himself. Another one was that he was actually a Confederate soldier that was down south working for the opposite side, which is why the family was upset about it. But as you see, when stories start going, they start unfolding into all different areas that you can't necessarily verify. However, go ahead, you need to walk through?
No, I actually just wanted to mention John Zappis is going to be going on at 5 instead of 5:30 if anybody was.
Oh, okay, you pushed it up? What time is it now?
Well, 20 up.
20 up? Okay, we'll make this quick. He basically was back early, it was early prior to digital cameras and all the rest, and he brought an infrared photography camera. Caught a picture, which I don't know if they actually still even have it, but they did see it. Caught a picture of what appears to be a woman in colonial garb with a big flowy dress, and a man with a stripe that goes down the pants that was similar to what they had at that time where they were having ranking and stuff, on the stairwell together. So it was the first time that anyone has that. With that, other people have claimed to have, like volunteers here, have claimed to see a man on the staircase, some have claimed to see a woman on the staircase, some have claimed to see the woman out in the yard running around. There's other stories of a woman basically being distraught and out on the front lawn. All of these could tie into that story, but that was one of the big stories that's going on. Let's see how we can make this. I don't want to go too fast, but I don't want you guys to lose too much. So I'm going to hit really a lot of the major stuff. So let's start with...
Basement?
We can't go in the basement.
Oh, darn.
Here's some things. When we're in here in a big group like this, because there's not waivers and all the rest, you can only go through certain parts of the building. If you investigated the building, a little bit more of it's open to you, but you sign waivers. If you get hurt, you're on your own.
That's understandable.
In this case, we can go up to the second floor, which not many people go up to. I'll take you up there. We'll do a couple quick stories, and then I do want to hit the very back room. Has another group of stories. There's a room in between and a little throughway. It has had some stuff, but nothing is major that actually
Now,
there's been footsteps and stuff up here that people have gotten when they're downstairs, hearing it up here. Nothing's up here. One of the big things is they claim that there's a woman that looks out the windows here. There's also a small child that they believe is in here, a small little girl, and the little girl roams through here and looks out all the windows, and the distraught woman I told you is out there supposedly looking for the little girl. So it's kind of like a hide-and-seek sort of thing that's going on. Actually, the people who see this is a lot of the residents that are across the street. There's a lot of people that catch that, see that. In our investigation, when we were here, sometimes we go off on this little tangent.